Hey everybody, it's Jennifer calling from Rocklines Magazine, and I am here in Grand Rapids, Michigan at Upheaval Festival with Nick and Blake from Joyous Wolf, who just got off stage, and we're very thankful that you're doing this right now, because I know that had to be some fun in the rain.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I'm just gonna start by saying that was my first time ever seeing you guys live. So like, I was one of those people that discovered your band by the magic of YouTube algorithms. So yeah. So it was like, I think the first video I saw, I think it was Mother Rebel, and I was like, well, they're kind of cool.
Was it the live one we were doing?
It was the live.
Cool, nice.
Yeah, it was the live one, and then I kind of looked into like some of the other things and Mississippi Queen, and then saw you do like a little Steven Tyler flip at the start of that video, and I was like, all right, they're cool in my book. So, but this is really the first major festival we've had in like the Ohio, Michigan area, and you know what? I gotta say, I just love you for what you did trying to get the crowd involved. I feel like because we've been on like quarantine for so long up in this area of the world, that even though it's a music festival and I thought people would be totally hyped,
it's just rain.
It rained, and everyone's kind of standing there like, I don't know what to do with my arms, like I don't know.
It's wet and the wind comes and it chills, you know, like I'm up there moving around, so I'm still warm, you know, but so I think they had fun. That's all that matters, you know.
They for sure had fun, but it was just you getting the crowd involvement was super important, I think, for just this festival in general, and just getting people back into it. And then we had a nice long guitar break, and that was,
yes.
People were like all into it.
Always with the long guitar breaks. Yep.
No, it was good. It was much needed, and when you jumped into the crowd, I feel like even though you weren't the first act on that main stage, I felt like it was the first like sort of, I don't know, festival moment, so to speak, of the day. So
happy to deliver.
Yes, thank you for delivering that.
Anytime. Happy to do it.
But overall, like, how is it kind of being back at it and being back at the festival scene after some time off?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, we did, Nick was saying earlier how we toured with Dirty Honey like a few weeks ago for like about a month, and that was awesome. But getting back into like the festival circuit is super great too. Like the experience like that is just on a whole other level, and it always is. And it's cool to be here for the Upheaval's first time. That was also really cool. Yeah. So no, we were stoked. Honestly, it felt great. Yeah.
Do you prefer the festivals, or would you rather just go on tour with like, and just kind of stick to it with a group of guys that you know, and like?
It's a completely different thing. I like them both for different reasons. I mean, they both have their positives and negatives. Sometimes you don't, quite get the sound check you want or whatever at a festival, but we're pretty good at just kind of powering through stuff like that. It doesn't really bother us too much,
So I know you're a band that kind of toured a lot more before the EP was put out, and I think I read an interview with you where you kind of talked about how you liked it that way, that you had time to like kind of go from like amateurs to being professionals, and how far along are you in that? Do you feel like you're professional now at this?
I just hope we're still amateur at this point. Like maybe one day, but just as far as like getting the groundwork was for like the whole EP, or like even pre that era, was like we just needed to do that to hopefully get better, just kind of get like a greater perspective on what we wanted to do as a band. And so I think touring for a lot, however long ago that was now, like 2 years ago, was a really good thing for us. Yeah. At
the core of it, would you consider yourself like more of a jam band? Is that part of kind of what being out live and working on your craft is?
I don't know. I think we have a jam element to us for sure, but I don't know necessarily we're like a jam band. When I think of jam band, I think of like Grateful Dead, or like Parliament Funkadelic. So like bands that'll play for like 26 hours. Yeah. But no, it's definitely an element. I mean, that's how we write our music. We get into a room together for the most part, and we'll just throw things around until something sticks. Yeah.
Makes sense. So you performed one of your newest songs that's coming out called Juniper up on stage. Can you tell us a little bit about that song, what it's about, all the inspiration?
The song that's coming out for the single was the first song of the set. Okay. It's called Fearless, and it's going to come out July 30th, and we're really stoked because it feels like forever since we've released music. So it'll be great. Yeah.
When is the full album set to?
Next year at some point next year, yeah. we're still kind of mixing the record still. We have a long way to go before it's all like completely the way we want it. So, but other than that, yeah.
I kind of got the vibe from some other things I've read about you all that, particularly from you, A Place and Time maybe wasn't, the process wasn't the way you would have liked it to go to make that record a little bit.
I mean, it wasn't like it was like a super miserable or anything. It was just, I mean, this time around with the new record, we got to make it the way that we always wanted to. I mean, for them, I mean, I could sing in any, phone booth in America. Like, the what makes the band go is them, and I just kind of ruin the songs afterwards when they're done. So, like, for them, I mean, like, how do you feel in comparison?
Yeah, do you like this production process a little better?
It's amazing. Yeah, the way we did things with this time was just like so ideal. But it's not really fair to say that the whole Place and Time experience was bad because we had just gotten signed.
Right, it's a new
and
experience.
we had like 2 weeks.
It's a place and time.
It was a place and time. It was a very short place and time.
Yes.
We had probably like 3 weeks to like record and write the record. There was only one song on that EP that was an old song. It was actually Mother Rebel. Every other song we had written very soon, and we just don't really like that. I mean, I'm sure every other musician under the sun can relate. Like, you want to sit on your material, make sure it's good, go through it and have time with it, and we finally got to do that this time. So, yeah.
It's kind of a blessing in disguise, like the pandemic in a way, because it gave us kind of time to reevaluate a lot of things, and I think we're really happy with the new material we've put together.
Do you feel like I don't want to say the quarantine was welcome, but do you feel like after being on the road for so long, it was kind of time for some reflection, or
maybe for like the first 3 weeks, right. and then we realized that it was like, oh, this isn't ending anytime soon, is it? Yeah.
The only blessing that came from it was just to have more time, because so much so when you get home from a tour, basically the mindset of everyone's like, all right, let's start writing again. All right, when's the next tour? Like, writing, balance, left, right. And then there was finally a pause, and we're like, oh my God, we can just like write without having to worry about like making a schedule or a timeline, whatever. So that finally happened, and I feel like personally that's why this album feels a lot more natural sounding. Yeah.
So you have some interesting like inspiration for your lyrics, and I always I mean, Harriet Beecher Stowe being Mother Rebel is really sort of very cool, but very unusual. And then having the Odyssey come out, are you kind of the one that takes the reins with that, or is it kind of a group thing? I mean, how did Harriet Beecher Stowe come to mind? I guess
I don't really remember at this point, because that was like 5 years ago. But like, it was just kind of like I think it all depends on what they play and what that makes me feel. And he plays slide on that, and I just kind of felt this sort of southern feeling to that, and that kind of just made me think about, I mean, I'm reading all the time and whatever, and I mean, I don't know, like I probably was just on Wikipedia being at 3 a.m. scrolling through like war history or something, and I don't know, I've always liked her as a person, as a writer, and her place in history. I always thought that was cool, and I don't know, I thought it just kind of happened. I don't think about it too much, to be honest. I wish I did.
I mean,
better answer than that.
No, it's the true answer. That's what it's an interesting like topic.
I like to write about different things. I mean, sometimes it can be really simple. Like, don't be scared, or it can be something a bit more thoughty. I mean, I don't know. Our inspirations are like bands that didn't just sing songs about cars and girls and stuff. So it's like I'm just kind of in that realm of stuff.
And do you guys just kind of like, okay, like let them go? This is what we're gonna do, kind of, or how much input do you have into the lyrics? Obviously. The music
honestly, I mean, like, he does such a great job with being creative in like a very storytelling way. So it's just like, that's what he does. And so like, we give him the opportunity to do that. And then us three are kind of, and he chimes in, frequently also, but us three are very much just like, all right, let's jam, and like, let's make some cool stuff. Let's make some like groovy riffs or progressions, whatever. And then that will inspire, him to like make up ideas of like a story, and then we'll just get behind it usually. It's just a natural process, but it's always great. It's always great.
I asked him pretty often like it's like, hey, is this stupid? Or it's like, and 9 times out of 10 it usually is. But there's a lot of that. I know they won't lie to me. Yeah. So that's kind of like, we have that relationship at this point where it's like we're not afraid to be like, if 2 people in the room are and 2 people are like for it, then we kind of have to play with it some more. But if it's like 3 and 1, then it's like, okay, we'll just move on.
Honestly, if one person like really doesn't like something, whether it's like a meaning or a song or just lyrics in general, like we usually just won't do it, because we really want like everyone to feel 100% about everything. Like we don't want to be like dragging kind of dead weight. If everyone's not stoked about it, we usually just either work on it or we just don't do it, because we want to be like super full force.
If everybody's not like there, the song just doesn't work. You can feel like a flat tire on the car.
All right, well, it makes sense.
To avoid that.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Totally.
It's cool to hear. It's the way it should be, especially if you're gonna be on Wikipedia looking stuff up. Like they need to approve.
I read books too, by the way. I'm not just like Wikipedia. That's all I have other sources. Right. Yeah.
What book are you into right now?
I'm not reading anything right now, to be honest with you. I haven't had any time. I'm just all of this has been, it's just like, okay, let's go back to this. I did enough sitting and looking at my phone and reading whatever during the pandemic, and I'm good.
So
for like probably a million years,
And Wikipedia will always be there if you get bored.
It's waiting for me.
Yeah. Like so much you can get into on Wikipedia. So you guys have toured with some pretty cool bands, pretty big bands, Deep Purple, Fozzy, / Miles Kennedy, to name a few. What kind of pearls of wisdom have you gotten for your craft from them, as far as touring, playing, singing, just the business?
All of the above. I mean, we've been really lucky. Everyone's been so cool to us, on tour. Like / and Miles were really awesome, and Deep Purple were like kind of surprised us the most, because they're a bit up there, and we figured they'd be doing their thing and we'd be over here, but they were very social and super nice to us. And same with Fozzy. Like I still will text him, Chris, every now and then. Like he'll check in on me still to this day, and it's really nice. And that's actually where we met on Fozzy. We met our TM Stripes, and like no one's ever been bad to us. They taught us all sorts of things. Every tour we kind of pick up something else. At this point, I think we have it down, at least how we want to do it, to a science.
Yeah,
no, it's very true. It's just everyone's giving us a little piece of wisdom nuggets here and there, and you take one, you go with it, and it's been great so far.
Well, I'm going to try to wrap this up before that stage takes over the interview, but I know one thing I always see people ask you guys is about being a throwback band, and I'm not going to ask you about that at all. I'm just going to tell you my opinion on it, and you can comment, walk away right now, whatever you want to do. But a couple years ago, I went to see Juliet and the Licks with one of my friends who's like much older than me, like OG Flower Child back in the day. And when the concert was over with, she was like, oh my God, I felt like I was at Janis Joplin. And she saw Janis Joplin live back in the day. And I thought, it's not so much the sound or the look or whatever. I think it's the feel of what you're doing. I think that people recognize someone when they're putting out their authentic selves and their authentic artwork, and it kind of takes them back to that place that they were when they felt that before. So that is my opinion on the throwback band situation. Like, I think it's just a feeling, and that's.
I mean, it's not like it's like some sin to say that or something. I think the whole thing with us is just that it's always been is like, just call us a new rock band. Just say Joyous Wolf is a new rock band. Thanks. That's it. That's it. That's not asking too much, I don't think. And it is, at this point, like we've been. It's not even it doesn't even matter anymore. Honestly.
You're like whatever.
It really the name or genre at this point is so beyond the point. It's just like, as long as someone even just knows our name, like as long as they say Joyous Wolf.
All right. So I just have kind of one more thing I wanted to just ask you about. I wasn't stalking you on social media, but I sort of stalked you on social media a little bit. You posted a little bit about Tony Bennett, some singing, and the Alzheimer Foundation. And if you could just tell us a little bit about that and where we can link people in to donate if they want to.
It's just I just linked, It's like it's just like the main Alzheimer's charity. You can go to my Instagram. My link is still there. My grandmother suffered from it, and hearing that Tony Bennett participated and still sang and went on tour with experiencing Alzheimer's was really inspirational. So go to my Instagram at It's Just Nick Reese and donate if you'd like to help fight Alzheimer's.